My name is Geeta. It had only been 6 months since my wedding. My husband, Rakesh, was working abroad. Being alone at home made time drag heavily sometimes. Besides the vegetable vendor and the milkman, I had no one to talk to. But a few days ago, new neighbors moved in next door. It was a couple. They had a young boy with them. When they were moving their belongings, I was outside in the courtyard. That's when the boy quietly stared at me. There was a strange expression in his eyes, not a smile, not a word. For a moment, I felt as if he was observing me intently. When our eyes met, I smiled a little, but he immediately looked away. I thought smiling like that during a first encounter might seem awkward to anyone, so I softened my expression. Later that same day, the neighbor woman came to my house to borrow a charger. She was talkative and had an open personality. Her son, Suraj, came with her to get the charger. Even then, he avoided looking at me. Well, the boy's mother was there. She said, "Hello, I'm Suman. We just moved in next door a couple of days ago. My husband got a transfer to this city, so we took this house. Since everything is new here, I came over to ask a few things." I told her, "Don't worry about anything. If you need anything at all, just tell me freely. I'll definitely help you." Then she said, "During the move, I've misplaced my phone charger. I don't know where I kept it, so I needed a charger. Could you please lend me your phone charger for a while? Or, here's an idea, take my phone and let it charge at your place for some time. The house is still a mess for moving, and I might end up misplacing your charger too." Agreeing, I plug her phone into my charger. "I'll be back in a bit," Suman said as she left. In the evening, the doorbell rang. My husband had come home. My husband worked abroad, so he was away from home for long periods. This time, Rakesh had come home for a month. Seeing Rakesh, I wrapped my arms around him. It had only been 6 months since our wedding. After my husband went abroad, I would constantly miss him. We had no in-laws at home. They had passed away before my wedding. That night, we both sat down to dinner. Just then, the doorbell rang. I thought it must be Suman coming to get her phone, so I went to open the door. But when I opened the door, our new neighbor boy was standing there. As soon as the door opened, he stared fixedly at me. What habit this was, only he knew, but his way of looking at me felt a bit strange. Because even during their move, he had looked at me in exactly the same way, and I didn't like it at all. I was about to ask him something when he just said, "Phone." From that, I understood Geeta must have sent him to get her phone. I told him, "Wait 2 minutes, I'll bring the phone." Just then, Geeta called out to him. And from that I learned his name was Suraj. Geeta and I didn't know each other well yet, otherwise I would have complained to her about Suraj. But causing a fuss with new neighbors over something like this could start a fight. So, without saying anything, I ignored it and went inside. That night, Suraj's face suddenly appeared before my eyes. When I got up and looked, I saw Suraj standing at his window, holding a flashlight to his face. And from our bedroom window, I could see him clearly. Seeing him standing there like that scared me. So I immediately got up and closed the curtains. The next morning during breakfast, I told Rakesh about the incident from the night before. He said, "Little kids are mischievous like that. Suraj was probably just playing some prank because it was dark. Don't pay attention to him. So, tell me, what special menu are you making for me this afternoon?" I said to Rakesh, "It's a surprise for you, but yes, I'm making something you like." Then Rakesh said, "All right, I'll eagerly wait for lunch." After finishing breakfast, Rakesh sat in the room working. At that time, I was thinking about what I could make that Rakesh would like. Then I suddenly remembered that Rakesh loved some raspuri, a sweet mango puree with fried bread. I didn't need to go far to get mangoes. Right in our courtyard was a lush mango tree. So I took a small basket and went into the yard. When I went into the yard, I saw the mangoes were too high for me to reach. I couldn't ask Rakesh for help because I knew if I called him outside, my surprise wouldn't be a surprise anymore. So I started trying to knock the mangoes down with a stick. But even then, my hand couldn't reach the mangoes. Still, I kept trying, and suddenly someone gave me a slight boost from behind. For a moment, I thought it was Rakesh, but it was Suraj. When I looked at him angrily, he said in a calm voice, "I was helping you." As he withdrew his hand, I realized he wasn't trying to touch me inappropriately, but the proximity felt wrong. Collecting myself, I said, "There's no problem with helping, but you should ask first." Without saying a word, he lowered his head and walked away. There was a strange humility about him and a terrifying silence. A little while later, I served Rakesh's meal. He was very happy to see the bowl of famras. He said, "Geeta, God has blessed me greatly by giving me a wife like you. Because I was just thinking to myself that I was craving amras, and you made exactly that." Then the two of us had a nice meal chatting. That same evening, Rakesh got a call from his company. He went into the bedroom talking on the phone. At that time, I was tidying up the house. After he finished the call, Rakesh came to me. He said, "Geeta, I got an urgent call from my company. I have to go abroad again for work in 2 days." I was upset because Rakesh had just come home, and now he had to leave again. I said to him, "Rakesh, how long is this going to go on? You're away for months, and I'm here alone at home. I'm not tired of it. Take me with you." Then Rakesh said, "I'll be joining a company in this city soon. Then we'll get a flat near that company and start a nice life together." Convinced by his reasoning, I agreed. 2 days passed just like that. That evening around 7, Rakesh had a flight. After dropping him off at the airport, I was coming home. As soon as I got home, I felt very tired. So I just sat down on the sofa. The very next moment, the doorbell rang. I was very reluctant to open the door because I was so tired, but the bell kept ringing. So I got up and opened the door. It was Suman. She looked very frightened. Sweat was beaded on her face, and in a trembling voice she said to me, "Geeta, my husband has had an accident. I need to get there quickly. Will you look after Suraj for a little while? Give me your number, I'll call you as soon as I get there." I just got a call from someone, and it was from my husband's phone, saying your husband has had an accident. They sent me the location. I'm going there now. Please look after Suraj for a bit. Then Suraj, who had been waiting behind her, came forward and Suman quickly ran and got into a car and drove away. Before I could understand anything, she had left Suraj with me. My mind was racing with the thought that Suraj's behavior was a bit odd. On top of that, Rakesh had just gone abroad. I was alone at home, but now, out of neighborly duty, I had to keep him at my place for a while. Then I saw there were tears in his eyes. I felt pity for him. I went and sat on the sofa and had him sit to the side. I said to him, "Suraj, don't worry. Your father will be fine. Suman has my number, she'll call soon. Everything will be fine." Then Suraj just nodded. He probably wasn't in the habit of talking much, because before this he had only ever stared at me. I was very tired. Still, I mustered the energy to get up and went to the kitchen to cook. While I was cooking, Suraj came there. I asked him, "Did you need something?" To that he said, "Auntie, you look very tired. If you need any help from me, I'll help you." Saying this, he started helping me with the cooking. I had thought he was a bad boy, but here he was helping me. Perhaps the way I had perceived the way he looked at me wasn't as I had thought. While cooking, Suraj helped me a lot. Even while eating, he ate quietly. Even then, he didn't talk much to me. I suddenly remembered that Suman was supposed to call me when she arrived. In her hurry, she had taken my number, but I didn't have hers. I started to get worried about her. I asked Suraj for his mother's number. He said, "My mother got a new number, I don't know it by heart. And her old number is disconnected." To that I said, "It's okay, no problem." After some time, I got a call from Suman. She said, "My husband had a serious accident. We just brought him to the hospital. There's no one here to stay with him, and the hospital is about 20 kilometers from our house. So Suraj will have to stay at your place tonight. Please do me this favor. I'll come home first thing in the morning and take him with me." I said okay to her. Being full from dinner, I was starting to get sleepy. Because of that, I dozed off on the sofa. I didn't even realize when I fell asleep in the hall. I woke up in the middle of the night and saw Suraj still sitting there. I asked him, "Suraj, "You haven't slept yet?" He said. "Where to sleep? I don't even know, so how will I sleep?" I had dozed off on the sofa, so Suraj had just been sitting there too. I said to him, "You go sleep in the bedroom. I'll sleep here on the sofa." It was just for one night, so I was willing to sleep on the sofa. Then Suraj went and slept in the bedroom. In the morning when I woke up, I saw Suraj had come and quietly sat in the hall. When I woke up and saw him, I was startled because he was staring at me. Seeing him act like that, I started waiting for when he would go home. Somehow, I stayed at home with him. Now I was waiting for Suman, thinking she would come home and take him. Waiting for her, 3 or 4 hours passed. It was becoming afternoon. Still, Suman hadn't come to my house yet. So I started trying to call her. When I called her, her phone was switched off. I called her 3 or 4 times in a row, but her phone was constantly off. She hadn't given me the hospital address, nor did I have any other number for her. They were new to the area, so I didn't know much about them. From yesterday evening's exhaustion, I still wasn't feeling well, and my body was aching from sleeping on the sofa. So I ordered food from outside for lunch. Evening turned to night, and still there was no sign of Suman. I was getting tense because today I couldn't keep Suraj at my house again. With my husband not home, I was starting to feel afraid of him. I kept trying to call Suman, but her phone was still off. Meanwhile, I went to check her house, but it was locked. Now Suman wasn't answering her phone, so I couldn't just throw Suraj out because Suman had entrusted him to me in good faith. 2 more days passed like this. Suraj had been staying at my house for 4 days. I started to feel that something had happened at Suraj's house and that Suman was hiding it from me. So, to clear my doubts, I went to confront Suraj. At that time, I couldn't find him anywhere in the house. I went outside to look and saw him going out through the courtyard. I called out to him loudly and asked him to come inside. At the same time, my attention went to Suman's house. When I went near Suman's door and looked, what I saw through the window shocked me greatly. I didn't know how to compose myself after that. Then I walked with heavy steps back to my house, and when I entered, Suraj was already in the hall watching TV, and the news was on. What was being shown on the news gave me another strong shock. I was being shocked repeatedly. The news was showing pictures of Suman and her husband. It was reported that these two people kidnapped children and sold them to other countries. They had been tracked down, and the police had now arrested them. Then I understood that the police were looking for Suraj too. Because Suman and her accomplice, the one she called her husband, had kidnapped Suraj from outside an orphanage. Suraj was a special needs child. That information was being given in the news. After watching that news, I understood why Suraj had been staring at me. And earlier, when I looked through the window into Suman's house, I hadn't seen a single item they had moved in. That meant the police had figured out Suman and her accomplice were there, so they had fled overnight and left Suraj with me. Watching that news answered all the questions in my mind. Right then, without wasting time, I informed the police. The police came and took Suraj away. As he was leaving the house, there were tears in his eyes. Even though he had special needs, he had emotions like any normal person.